Jonathan Booth writes, Michael Bay is disparaged constantly, and the implication is that he makes subpar films. However, when I look at his list of films, I see a list of movies that were extremely entertaining and that made a lot of movie. Bad Boys, Bad Boys 2, Armageddon. This movie never gets old to me. And The Rock. More recently, he made the hugely popular Transformers films, all of which I enjoyed, and I will most certainly be seeing the fourth one in the theaters. Is a director's job not to make an entertaining film for the audience that makes the studio a lot of money? What am I missing?
I am with you in some ways. I am, to some degree, a Michael Bay defender. I love The Rock. I don't care how much you like or dislike Michael Bay, give The Rock its due. It's a really good film. I love it. It might be my favorite Nicolas Cage film all around. I thought it was great. Armageddon is one of my guilty pleasures. I really do like Armageddon. I know a lot of people trash on it, that's fine. But for me, I really like it. Lots of people like Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2. Has Michael Bay made some bad films? Transformers 2 is terrible. Transformers 3 is terrible. But unabashedly, I loved the first Transformers movie. Michael Bay's not really consistent except for the fact that he loves his explosions and he loves girls in tight leather pants. And on either one of those accounts, who can blame him? And he puts him in a movie and he makes a visceral kind of like bombastic kind of viewing experience that's for a certain type of audience. And a lot of times he's hit it out of the park. And sometimes it's crap. So I agree with you, man. I think he takes an undue amount of hate. I think he is not one of the great one of the great directors in Hollywood today by any stretch of the imagination, but he has made, let's give him his due. He's made some really good, solid, entertaining films and has the potential to do so moving forward. Now let's see how Transformers 4 turns out. Dennis?
Yes, out of all of his movies, I like The Rock the best. I think it's an entertaining film. Armageddon is also a guilty pleasure of mine. You know, the first Transformer wasn't that bad, but I, like you, did not like the second or third one. I found them extremely boring, to be honest.
Yeah.
And let's tack on some other movies. You didn't mention Pearl Harbor. That was an awful movie.
What are you talking about? That got snubbed at the Oscars, man. Yeah. No, right.
And The Island.
The Island,
I didn't care for either.
I don't think it was a bad film, but you could tell it had so much potential to be so much better.
It had a cool concept because it's based off, I think, was it a Michael Crichton book?
I think so.
It just didn't do it for me. So, and my issues with Michael Bay, I think he has trouble telling an entire narrative for a whole movie. He likes doing like little cool scenes here and there, like let's jump out of the plane and whatever, but doesn't really make sense in the context of the story. So, but having said all that, if I was a studio executive, I'd hire him.
Yeah.
Like I hired him. Like he does do what you're talking about. He fulfills that role, which is he makes movies. They don't always entertain me. Actually, mostly they don't. But he does entertain most of the mass audience. He makes money, so why not?
Erin?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys, and I actually agree with you, Jonathan, a lot. I think he makes very entertaining movies, and I'm a huge fan of Michael Bay. I really am. He won me over with Pain and Gain. It was one of my favorite films of 2013.
Yeah.
A great film. Anyone that thinks that Michael Bay can't direct should see that movie because he did it well, and he did it on a budget. So he doesn't necessarily fall into these same stereotypes that people always want to lump him into. I think he deserves a little more credit. Give it up for Michael Bay, right?
Woohoo, Michael Bay!
The thing is, Pain and Gain is actually, for me, a perfect example of kind of why I don't like Michael Bay in general. Because for me, I didn't care for the movie as a whole. It had some great scenes in it and some great like character stuff here and there. But as a whole, it didn't make that much sense. It got really repetitive.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.